You've joined Prophecy Talk for analysis of world events and unfolding Bible prophecy, brought to light by prophecy expert and author Erika Grey of www.erikagray.com.
Welcome, folks, to Prophecy Talk, where you come for real Bible prophecy news and analysis. I'm going to start talking about the vaccine only because this is a show about the mark of the beast, and I'm showing you two books that I authored that really go into details about the mark of the beast. And the reason I'm going to talk about this is I'm going to share with you some frightening technology that is on the horizon. And the reason I'm talking about the vaccine first is because there are many conspiracy theories out there about the vaccine, what's in the vaccine, and that the vaccine is mark of the beast. So I'm going to start by saying that I'm going to take the vaccine, and I'm mostly an anti-vaxxer. And I can go into details about how I'm an anti-vaxxer, but that's not what this show is about. I would say that 90% of me is anti-vaxxer. The reason I am making an exception in the case of COVID, because from what I have looked at, I don't see dangers in this vaccine. I don't like the idea that they would put inside of you a piece of the illness, or part of the illness that they're going to vaccinate you against. And some people come down with the illness. Hear it all the time with people who take flu shots and get the flu, or other shots and get what it is they're being vaccinated against. And I've started to listen to a video that someone sent me about the fact that this vaccine uses RNA, and that person was trying to say that this vaccine would turn you into a chimera. Well, I don't buy that either. I don't see that. And you have to go into history of when we've had pandemics or epidemics of various illnesses, and vaccines came out and then eradicated, such as what happened with measles. So I've decided that this all looks very safe as it can look, although I would wait until it's rolled out, and many have taken it first. I know it's being rolled out for those who are older and in nursing homes, and if many take it and don't have any issues, I'm going to be on the list. I don't want the Franken-virus. I've not had it, but it's starting to get very close to home, where family members are now getting COVID. And one we just prayed out of death's door. He was literally at death's door with COVID, and it was frightening when he couldn't breathe and had to have firemen actually carrying him, helping to carry him down the stairs in that bad of a state from COVID. So I wanted to first start by saying that the COVID is not the mark of the beast. And all this stuff about the vaccine, this information, this part of this world order and whatever, and it's controlling, I just don't buy into. This is really something that a pandemic that has spread and that nations are trying to now fight. And the vaccine is now coming from, both the United States, Russia, Europe is now also, the UK, I believe, is the first country that just is distributing. Everybody's taking the vaccine. So anyway, I wanted to say that the vaccine is not the mark of the beast, because I also, prophecy people are going on about how you have to have the vaccine to be able to travel. Well, that's kind of common sense. I would think that if that happened during the time of measles, that would have also been the case as well. Who knows if it was required. But having now said all of that, I'm going to show you as much as I can show you, because I want you to actually read the book, of what the mark of the beast is. But I'm going to give you a little bit. And in my books and in the Seed of the Antichrist, not just in these books, I talk about brain adaptive interface, or what began with brain adaptive interface technology. And I want to let you know that 30, I have to remember how long ago this was, but yeah, about 30 years ago, I had a scientist who read my rough draft. He was a physicist. He had worked at NASA, and he had many patents to his name. He was an Austrian scientist, and he read what I had written, a rough draft of the Seed of the Antichrist. And I remember him telling me that the possibility or the probability existed, that what I was writing was possible. And that was pretty huge because he did not know Christ. He later came to know Christ. He passed away and he is now with the Lord. But there was something he stated to me 30 years ago, and he told me that the technology that was in the very, very beginnings of the thought process was adaptive brain interface. And he talked about how that, in his opinion, would lead to this dictator who would have this ability to then control. So I have, based on this scientist, what he stated to me, started to investigate adaptive brain and have been following it for several decades. And now it is something that is just unbelievable. It is the idea of man merging with machine and man's brain merging with machines. So I want to show you, how did I get an ad there? Hold on. I want to show you an article first that appeared in the New York Post. Army-funded study developing tech that could allow telepathic soldiers. Now again, this is not new, but this is now being written about because at different points it makes various strides, or there's more ways it's being tested. But DARPA actually was testing this telepathic with soldiers, and I have not read this particular article. I just saw the headline, just wanted to put it here because I want to get to the next piece. But basically, that this telepathic soldiers talking, actually I did read this a little bit, and it's the idea that they can read each other's thoughts. But it goes to this piece of brains merging with computers and also reading thoughts. So now let's look at the next piece that I want to show you. And this is hottest consumer trends, but this is not what this is. This is actually on Ericsson's website. Now, Ericsson is a major company in Switzerland, and it is spearheading, one of the companies in the EU and globally that is spearheading 5G, or wants to make great strides in 5G. And so they just had a very big meeting, and it was for the shareholders, and they talked about what they have accomplished, where they're at throughout the world. But they also presented this direction that they're going, this Internet of Senses. That means that you would actually merge with the machine, and your brain would be merged with a computer. And you can see here under the table of contents, your brain is the user interface. And through this merging of your brain with the computer, you would be able to, let's say, visit a place and actually smell the smells, what it would be like to walk through. I mean, it's pretty wild stuff. But the bottom line is it's this idea of your brain merging with a computer. And I talk about this in my books. And I state that what the Antichrist, now there's more that the Antichrist is, there's more to this mark of the beast that's just horrific, and that's revealed in the Antichrist, son of Satan. But the scary piece is 6G is absolutely going to be part of the mark of the beast. 5G is starting the road there. But this idea that even 5G at a later time is going to merge somebody's brain with a computer is just absolutely frightening. Because you have to think of the Antichrist as someone who's going to be able to put his thoughts inside of you, who will be able to get inside of your brain. He will act as the Holy Spirit. He will blaspheme the Holy Spirit. And this is the abomination of desolation that is talked about, not only his going into the temple, but also in his putting the image of him, or the image of the beast, or the image of himself, but also this idea that he blasphemes God the Father and and Jesus and the Holy Spirit, but he blasphemes the Holy Spirit by mimicking the Holy Spirit. And there's more about that in detail in Decoding 666, the number of the beast, whereas Antichrist, son of Satan, talks more of where the technology is going to end up and how frightening it is. So I know that all technologies are talked about, and some of them are really highlighted, whether you're talking about, whether some people talk about the COVID vaccine and this is the mark of the beast, or they talk about, DNA change and this is the mark of the beast and the Antichrist is going to make us all chimeras and all this other stuff. No, this is the path. Now, all roads lead to Rome, and we know that. And we know that the Antichrist is going to change times and laws. So I don't have a doubt that he's going to use the DNA changing technology to do all kinds of monstrous things and monstrous experiments. But the mark of the beast itself, he's going to have the capabilities to get inside of you. This is more than just an RFID chip, folks. This is more than just something with your name and address and you can't buy and sell. This is the abomination of desolation, the abomination that makes desolate, because the Holy Spirit retreats from any of these individuals because it is sensitive to the blasphemy and has to retreat for the sake of its glory. So this is really, really scary stuff. Now, I will embark on 5G. As far as the new phones coming out are 5G, I will have 5G, but I will tell you something. I will not go to 6G, and I will not go to anything that involves my brain connecting with a computer. I'm sorry, end of the road, stops right before that. And also, but again, it's really going to be the Antichrist who's going to use that technology to blaspheme. He's going to use technology in part to blaspheme the Trinity and to mimic the Trinity. Again, more details in my books. Well, anyway, I hope you found this informative. I hope I haven't freaked some of you out by saying I would take the vaccine, but just based on my research, I am not seeing anything of why I shouldn't. given enough people that will take it, and after sharing with you the mark of the beast, again, all roads lead to Rome, but Rome is still Rome. This is Rome. The idea of man merging with machines or merging with computers. And this is just absolutely frightening stuff. So for more on end time Bible prophecy, definitely be sure to subscribe to my channel. And most of all,
Jesus closes the book of Revelation, declaring, "Behold, I am coming quickly." John 20:21 records, "These things are written, that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that believing you may have life in his name." John 3:15 promises that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Trust in Jesus today. He lives, and he is returning.